Story of 10 Snakes. Once upon a time, there was a poor orphan. He was very diligent and upright. One night, in a dream, he saw an old man appear before him, put a diamond in his hand and said, "With this diamond you will become rich." He builds a house, gets married, and will have a daughter. But you must keep her carefully, because most likely she will turn into diamond and he will be poor like before. The next morning the orphan woke up and saw a very large diamond in the palm of his hand. He sold it. With the money, he bought food and sold it from city to city. Years passed and he became a wealthy businessman. He married a beautiful wife, and then they gave birth to a daughter who was also incredibly beautiful. Searching the whole country could not find a more beautiful girl. Once returning home after a hard day of work, suddenly a snake crawled out of the forest and slithered after him. He tried to escape from it, but it kept clinging to him. Every day it comes closer and closer. Suddenly he heard a voice right above his head. "Sir, if you Don and number 39 want to die, please marry your daughter to me. Otherwise, the snake will bite him to death immediately." Remembering the dream and the old man and number 39's instructions, he hesitated for a moment and then agreed. The snake left him, slithering away. He continued walking, but he heard a mysterious voice say, "Dear businessman, if you deceive me, you will also die." The merchant arrived home and lo and behold, the house, garden, and even the servants in the house all disappeared. Before his eyes was just a torn thatched hut. His wife and daughter and number 39's clothes were all torn and his own clothes were no better than theirs. Only then did he regret his promise to that ghostly voice. He then told everything to his wife and children. He was in so much pain that he just wanted to die. At that moment, his beautiful and obedient daughter loved her father and said, "Dad, please calm down. I will fulfill your promise, father. I will accept a miserable life." As the months passed, the merchant and number 39's family lived in poverty. One night, suddenly there was a knock on the door. Then the tent door opened. A big, hideous snake crawled in. He spoke up and said, "I am the stranger that you promised to marry your daughter to." The father turned back to his daughter and said in pain, "I would rather die than marry my daughter to a monster like you." However, the daughter convinced her father to let her take the monster to save her father and number 39's life. The snake gave her a ring as a sign of betrothal. Then they went into the second room together and closed the door. Suddenly the snake shuddered and shed its skin. Strange! A handsome young man was standing in front of the girl. He said, "If you want to live happily with me, you must not ask a single word and must not tell anyone, not even your parents, what you saw. Every morning I will have to say goodbye to her, and when night falls I will return to her." The girl was very happy and excited to know that her husband was such a guy. She promised not to tell anyone and not to ask him even a single word. The next morning when the girl woke up, the snake was gone. Meanwhile, her parents could not sleep all night because of worry and fear for their daughter. So when they saw her still safe and sound coming out of the next room, they could N&39 believe their eyes. They were extremely happy. They asked her many questions but she avoided answering. A few nights like that passed. and her parents began to blame their daughter for hiding the truth and not wanting to tell her parents, the people who loved her wholeheartedly. Finally, she had to reveal the secret to her parents. That night the snake also returned to the room with her, but it did not shed its skin like usual. He said sadly, "You didn't and #39. Keep your promise to me. I will have to leave her. Dawn and number 39. Look for me. You 1 and number 39. Find me." Before the girl could even apologize, the snake disappeared. She was unspeakably sad. Every day she locked herself in her room, refusing all meetings. Near the girl and number 39's family there was a poor family, which also had a daughter. One day she was playing in the street with a doll when a dog passed by and snatched the doll and carried it away. The girl quickly chased the dog. The dog ran to the other side of the city. The girl kept running after it, keeping a distance between them. Suddenly a wolf jumped out to block the dog and number 39's path. The dog was so scared that it let go of the doll and ran away. When the girl ran to the place, she saw a hole but could not see the doll. The little girl guessed that the doll had fallen there, so she climbed down. It wasn't an #39. Dark down there and there was nothing to hinder her, so she kept going until she reached the cave entrance on the other side. She climbed through the door, and before her eyes appeared a magnificent palace surrounded by a beautiful garden. Her doll lies right next to the cave entrance. She hadn't an #39 eaten all day, so her stomach was hungry. She went into the palace to find food. She saw 2 rooms. One room had a table with 10 plates of food on it. The other room had 10 beds to sleep on. The little girl came to the table. Suddenly she heard voices outside, so she hid under a bed. And it and number 39's terrible. She saw 10 snakes the size of which she had never seen before crawling into the room. The little girl almost cried out when she saw 10 snakes shed their skins and become 10 handsome boys. Then they threw 10 snake skins out the window. They knelt down and began to pray. She found their prayers strange and unprecedented. They muttered, "We pray that a beautiful young woman will come here and burn our skin to save us." After praying, they ate the food on the table and went to sleep. The girl noticed and saw the boy lying on the same bed she was hiding in, took out a handkerchief from his pocket and kissed it. The girl immediately recognized whose handkerchief belonged to this person. At that time, the girl felt extremely tired and sleepy, so she fell asleep. The next morning when I woke up, the 10 snakes had disappeared. The girl quickly left the palace and went back to the city. Upon arriving, she went straight to the merchant and number 39's daughter and number 39's house. She told everything that had happened and also about the handkerchief. After hearing the girl and number 39's story, the merchant and number 39's daughter immediately went to the palace with the girl. They hid under a snake and number 39's bed. In the evening the 10 snakes returned and everything happened again like the previous night. When 10 snakes became 10 boys, the merchant and number 39's daughter immediately recognized her beloved husband. She waited until the night for the 10 boys to fall asleep, then gently went out to burn those 10 snake skins. The next morning the 10 boys woke up. When they learned everything, they danced and shouted for joy. The merchant and number 39's daughter hugged and kissed her husband. The husband then told his story. You were originally 10 princes. Your mother died early. His father married someone else and they had a son. Your stepmother hates you guys. She wants to harm you so that her son can take over the throne. She cast a spell that turned you into snakes. Now that she has burned those snakeskins, the witch stepmother and number 39's life is over. That is her fate. That night the merchant dreamed of the old man again. The old man gave me the diamond some time ago. Tonight he appeared and revoked his curse. The next day a lavish wedding was held. It was the wedding of the merchant and number 39's daughter and the snake-skin prince. When the father died, the prince took over the throne. The young couple lived happily together forever. They gave birth to beautiful children and their great-grandchildren are still alive today. Thank you for joining us for today's fairy tale. We hope these stories bring joy and meaning to your day. If you love our channel, please hit the subscribe button so you won't miss any exciting tales. Wishing you a good night and sweet dreams. See you in the next story.